back on this flatbed on the 49 5-window. Got some wiring and lights and the trailer plug to get in. And I also got to torch some holes to get some hardware to attach the supports to the side of the frame rails. So, alright, let's do it. Got the heat back on. It's back into the 20s and 30s outside, so spring's trying to come through, but not this week. Alright, we got the taillights done on this truck. We got the trailer plug wired Everything's all loomed. Nice and neat on the back and tied up. So it's ready to go. Alright, let's get some holes drilled in here and put some hardware in there just to help lock it into the chassis. We'll straighten out that frame rail too. Alright, it's a couple days later. I picked up some lumber last night from a local mill. Didn't quite get exactly what I wanted. I was looking for a little bit more and a little nicer quality, but this will work. I'll make it work. I got a 12-inch radial arm saw that a buddy gave me that I'm going to try to use kind of for the first time for a real job. Seems to zip right through that 2x8 stuff. The blade's nice and sharp. It just needed a 240 volt plug on it. I had built this table for it last year, but I never really used it. Got the old little table saw. Probably use that if I got to rip something down, and I back up my trusty circular saw. So, all right, let's get some decking on this thing. Should be good. It's gonna be a cool truck. I didn't realize that one's pretty rough, so I'm gonna save this one for a headache rack board that'll end up getting cut down and only use up to about here. Oh, what is going on here? Oh, alright, so these two boards are 7-inch wide on one side, but they're 8-inch wide down there, which is okay. I mean, obviously something got screwed up there. All the other ones look like they're 8-inch, but I need to rip down at least one. This is complex woodwork here. I'm trying to use up these two boards that are messed up. They're 8 inches wide on this side, but it's 7 inches wide on this side. So I got 8 and then 7. So I flipped them so they kind of wedge together, because I need 14 1/4 and 14 1/2, which is bigger than 7 and 7 would be only 14 if I just ripped them straight and stacked them. But if I stack them next to each other opposite, I can make more than 14 inches. I just got to figure out how to do it. I think what needs to happen is I'm still going to have to, I'll offset them like this. So like here, that's 15 inches and 15, and then I'll end up ripping, you know, a tapered sliver off one side so it fits. Alright, that turned out pretty good. Let's move on to the headache rack. Alright, woodwork's done on this one. We got the decking and the headache rack done. It's ready for waste oil on the 3 back sides, and then screws, and then top coat it. Looks good. Alright, we got the waste oil done on the sides and bottom and edges. I just made a jig for my holes, 2 screws in each board, 1.5 inches in. I'll just use this jig. I screw it down on the ends and just keep moving along on each stud. I use these 3-inch number 3 head Tex screws. They're made for wood to metal. They got a nice drill point. They work great. You got to use a number 3 bit though, and I pre-drill a little bit into the hole, into the wood, just to give me a guide. Pull this guide off and then hammer the screws down. Using DeWalt impact drivers, I have 3 of these. I'll rotate between because they get kind of warm once you get moving. Alright, let's get it screwed down. Alright, I got 4 more rows and then the headache rack. Trimmed off the points of the screws, so you know everything's sticking out weird. Looks good. Alright, that wraps up this flatbed. The only thing I'm waiting on is I ordered some mud flaps that are headed my way. But other than that, this truck is pretty much done. Looks pretty good. You kind of never know what you're going to get color-wise. This is kind of a dark golden brown. Sometimes they're black or black. If it's like, you know, diesel motor oil, it's real dark. Or if it's like clean synthetic out of an import, it'll be a lot lighter. But I kind of like this color. It'll lighten up once it dries, sitting out in the sun, you know, for a couple days. But that wood will soak that right up, and I probably will even put another coat on the top side. But turned out pretty good. Headache rack's all done. We got the screws trimmed up on the back. It's a good looking little truck. Alright, this truck will be for sale pretty soon. I'm going to list it for $10,500. So if anybody is interested, shoot me a message. It's a 55 Chevy that's on a 2006 or 2005, I think. 1-ton GMC, single wheel chassis. It's got a 6-liter 4L80, E-rated 8-lug tires. You probably want to put different tires on it, but I mean, these will get you down the road for this car show season. Everything's pretty good. I'm still torn whether or not I want to change out the windshield on this truck. I ordered the seal. It's got little spots like this that, you know, it's going to leak, but I don't really drive stuff in the rain like this. It doesn't have any cracks or anything, but it does have some fog. And there's a little bit of rust up by the, you know, there's a hole up by where the passenger visor would be that I'm sure needs a little work if I was going to tear that windshield out, but nothing major. But I don't know, I just haven't really done it. Maybe the next guy will want to do it. But alright, that's gonna wrap up episode 5, I think it is. Wasn't too bad. I mean, I pretty much, I can knock out the metal fab in basically a day on one of these, and then kind of do lumber, screw down, and waste oil in a second day, and then maybe a half day finish up, you know, in between, do the tie down points, and then do the wiring on the rear hitch and the crash bar. So it's not too bad for 2.5-3 days work, and it's probably $1,200 in materials by the time you're done. So I don't think you can buy a $1,200 flatbed for something that nice if you were making it on your own and not paying labor. Cool. Alright. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you didn't already. I got the blue 4-wheel drive truck I got to get back in here next. I'll probably do that while we're still making all this sawdust mess at once. And get that one done. Alright, catch you next time.